like it.
Yeah, no, it is.
We've got today this Steinhauer Weisse from Göller. Goller is a brewery out of Franconia. This is going to be a little bit different from an American wheat beer because by law, this particular type of beer has to use over 50% wheat. So we're going to try it out and see how it compares.
Wow. Nice. That was a good sound. Yeah.
Oh, I like that color.
Yeah.
And it's like a sort of a
It's
darker
gold.
gold.
Yeah.
This is an unfiltered beer, so it's going to be a tiny bit cloudy, but it's still got a really brilliant golden look color.
I think the cloudiness lends itself to that hue, to that
Right.
color.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, sort of almost like a grassy straw
Yeah,
kind of a
that's what I'm
smell.
saying. It's like
It's very
it's almost it's grains, but again, yeah, grassy like you said. So it's almost fresh.
yeah, it's really fresh smelling.
Whoa. Yeah, the aromatics on this one are much more vibrant.
Yeah, really bright, almost like what you might call an acidity in coffee.
Yeah,
Like
there
a
you go.
really sort of popping, bright, like almost like a fruit rind kind of a smell.
Yeah, it is reminiscent of like an orange peel or...
Oh yeah, definitely in the taste. Some of that citrus is up forward. So yeah, same thing with like a rind where you think like it's bitter, but again the fruit itself is sweet. I think it would be the rind, not overbearing.
Yeah, it's got sort of a mild bitterness, not a terribly strong bitterness, but a mild bitterness.
You know, I'm really as I start to taste it, that aroma, that sort of bright acidic aroma, has kind of changed from a traditional fruity taste almost to like a tomato kind of a taste, like a ripe fresh tomato. Still kind of tart, not really tart. Still kind of tangy, but it has a sort of a richness behind it.
I don't know if I'm catching the tomato on this one. I think more in the smell. But yeah, no,
It's after
I think it's just the acidity is
the
very
acidity.
far forward.
If I drink it and
Yeah.
if I take a sip and I let it ride, it's sort of in the aftertaste. There's just a little bit of like a fresh tomato.
Yeah, and it's very different from an American wheat beer. I wouldn't call it light. It's a very flavorful, with the strong sort of acidic taste.
Yeah. It's good though.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's certainly different than anything else I've tried. Again,
Yeah,
including the
same
American
here.
wheat beers, but
Yeah,
It's
if you were
it's great.
comparing
It's
this
good,
to
yeah.
American beers and you just handed me this in a glass, I would not guess it was a wheat beer. Because it's much more complex than like what you would get.
there you go. Yeah.
It would be hard not to like.
Yeah. Wow.
It's really clean. I'd say the outstanding feature is kind of the acidity, the sort of brightness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
but it's a lot more mild than a sour.
oh yeah, it's
Oh,
not sour.
certainly, yeah.
Yeah, it's not sour, but I think it's that sort of tang and also that sort of complexity. I think maybe they're just getting flavors out of the wheat that we don't traditionally get in beers, because it seems like there's layers to this beer that I don't think I've tasted in a typical beer. You know.
Right. Well, they're again as traditional as this is. Even when we think of breads, right, other grain foods, it's like something here that's not. Yeah, it's not typical to where we're from, of course.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting too, as I sit here and I haven't sipped it for a minute or so, it's got like different flavors coming
Yeah.
through on that aftertaste. It's a really long
Definitely.
and changing aftertaste.
Right.
Yeah, and to be honest, with the acidic smell and that flavor that's in here, it's so forward. And again, not that it's overwhelming or anything like that, but just trying to pull those tastes out. It almost is reminiscent of even a hint of rye, right? Where you're getting so much of the grain itself and its purity that in a rye loaf of bread, that is all you smell is
Mhm.
like particularly rye.
Right.
There's something so perhaps weedy about this that it's yeah, I don't know, maybe I've never even smelled wheat this
Right.
close, right? Or like
Or a wheat beer with this much wheat in it.
yeah, exactly. That it's
Mhm. See, to me, this is sort of almost like a harvest. Sort of
certainly, yeah.
evocation,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like
I know you say that, definitely.
yeah, no, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
like just sort of that. There's
Mhm.
the hint of chill, but there's that sort of
There you go.
a bready sourness of like that fresh new grain and
Yeah. It seems like this would be a great sort of hot weather beer after work,
Right.
you know, after mowing or
or into the fall, you know, putting
Right.
up your wood,
yeah.
come in from that chilly,
Yeah.
have a cup of this.
In a sense, I would describe it with those thoughts in mind as earthy.
Yes.
Very earthy.
Not
Not in flavor, not in
Right,
flavor,
yeah,
certain
in,
typps of earthy.
in evocation.
Exactly. Yeah, and that color is just great. Man.
Yeah, and I think as we've gone lower down in the bottle, it's gotten a little cloudier.
And I
too.
think,
Yeah.
look at this.
I
I think
totally agree.
I think that this last bit is going to be really cloudy.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You can't even see through that actually.
Wow.
So yeah, at the
So-
beginning,
At the beginning, it was real
I
clear.
can see straight
And there's
through
a
the
and
glass.
there's I can see a bunch of yeast on the bottom. So maybe we should if that's to be included, maybe we should have sort of rolled the bottle around to
Mhm.
collect that yeast,
Mhm.
just dredge that yeast up a little bit. Yeah, that's much cloudier, and I want to see if this tastes different.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe it's because it's at the end of the bottle, but it's sort of mellowed out, and there is definitely there's that distinct kind of tang that we've been fumbling at, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's the bottom, and do you taste more of it there? You said it might be maybe perhaps
I think that
more of
distinct
the
tang
yeast that it has.
It's still there, but it's at the end. It sort of comes as an aftershock.
Hmm.
Do you guys want to try this? This is
Right.
at the very bottom.
Oh, I see what you meant mellowed out. Big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wow,
Yeah.
that's really different. It's almost like the what was sort of in the middle or after is right forward right there.
Right.
So maybe definitely roll this one around.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
And then say that actually the bottom of that is so mellow.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it seems like as you go through the bottle, it changes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you weren't to stir it around a little bit, it's almost like the first time I've had a true wheat beer.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to brew.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to brew the ingredient, not a recipe as much as the ingredient.
Exactly.
It's like a lot of maybe like peasant food. They'll have a simpler sort of recipe list, but you really have to cook it well, and you have to
Yeah.
sort of, you lean heavier on the ingredients
with
themselves.
fresh ingredients,
With fresh
especially.
ingredients,
Yeah.
All right, this being an unusual for an American, an unusual type of Weisse beer. It's really clean. It has that great acidity. I thought it was great for a hot day after work, maybe. Although it is a little bit off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'd put this sort of in maybe in the around a 4. I think I enjoyed it, but I I think I spent too much time thinking about it. You know.
And so it really struck me was, again, talking about the freshness of the ingredients.
Yeah.
I've never had a wheat beer like that. So in the category of wheat beers that I've ever had, and then tasting this, I would give it a solid 4.5. And just because of that, it was really unique. And again, kind of something where it's like, oh, this is probably how a wheat beer should be. And again, that's going with my limited taste of American wheat beers.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated it for that sake.
Yeah, so again, as far as wheat beers goes, it was so far from what I was expecting from a wheat beer. It was very good, but it was not my favorite, to be honest. I guess I just have that American taste of preferring a light wheat beer. It was a very good beer, nonetheless. I'm gonna give it a 3.9.